chimney fixing?
Call Mr. Hickson.
Freshen up your look and your home with new finds for less. Fall's newest styles are here at Hamricks. New Project Cloud shoes starting at $40. Candle lamp warmers, $15. Ladies fashion sweaters starting at $15. New fall and Halloween home and garden decor, 50% off. Ladies Pierre Dumas boots and booties, $20. Ladies Playtex bras, $16. Select Ruby Road coordinates, $20. New looks, favorite brands, prices worth falling for. Only at Hamricks.
Best Wings, Sesame Chicken, We Do Catering, China, next to Kroger, Evans.
Locally owned and operated since 1985. Mark Young's Tire Pros, love the drive.
Augusta Family Dental. We now have 4 locations to serve you.
Sherry Osborne, Certipro Painters. Call us, we'll paint happy for you.
Big Dog Disposal. You call, we haul. Anything.
Super Savers, coupons online, anywhere, anytime. Just show your phone.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Off they go, spreading capability across America. Great deals, great trucks.
Great time to buy. And J.D. Power says Ford is now #1 in new vehicle quality.
All the hauling and towing they'll do. Wish I could go with them. Sure looks like fun.
But the deals end soon. Better hurry.
Get 0% APR for 36 months and $1,000 toward your down payment on select Ford vehicles, plus $500 final days bonus cash.
News Channel 6 and Vallon Bank have teamed up to help you get financially fit. Visit WJBF.com/finance to learn the basics of money management, from saving and budgeting to planning for the future. Get financially fit with Vallon Bank.
Now, on News Channel 6 at 5, high heat in our area. How to protect your pets in these sweltering temperatures. As your News at 5 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 5.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Brad Means. Thanks for joining us. Jenny is off tonight. Coverage you can count on begins with the Richmond County Sheriff's Office working to support its own after losing 2 members of the department in separate incidents. We told you yesterday Deputy Jailer Michael Davis died Wednesday after a medical episode, and Deputy Philip Wasson Jr. died in an off-duty car crash. Sheriff Eugene Brantley says support from the department includes help for deputies and their families. Jartavius Edmond joins us now.
Brad, Sheriff Brantley says deputies still have to report to work and respond to other people's emergency even while dealing with their own grief. The Sheriff's Office has resources available to help. Brantley says those resources are used not only after the loss of a deputy, but anytime a difficult call takes an emotional toll.
We reached out, had our chaplains respond. We have peer counselors for our officers, and so we made sure they were en route to talk to the officers and with the family as well. So yeah, we typically make sure we are taking care of our officers mentally as well as physically.
At 6, Brantley shares the moment he says made one of those losses feel especially personal and what he hopes people remember about both deputies.
Jartavius, thank you for that. Our Chief Meteorologist, Jenna Petracci, joining us now for our first check of the weather.
Well, Brad, it's another hot day, and we do have dry conditions with it. This is our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam showing the Momentum Center at Aiken. A few clouds out there, but overall, pretty quiet weather for us with the hot conditions. We're checking in at 101 degrees in Lincolnton, 99 in Augusta, Aiken at 98, 97 in Barnwell, and Allendale, 99 in Bamberg. Now, thank goodness we have some of these lower dew points still, especially in our western counties, down to a 60-degree dew point in Wrightsville. So that's keeping the heat index at bay. We don't have a heat advisory today. Of course, this is still very hot, but only around 2 to 5 degrees hotter than the actual temperature. Now, the winds are starting to come back out of the southeast, though, and that's going to increase our moisture as we go into Friday. Winds are currently up to around 5 to 7 miles per hour. And for the remainder of our Thursday evening, you can see we'll be in the upper 90s through 6 p.m., then down to 91 at 8 p.m. Winds coming out of the southeast, and our sunset will be at 8:08, getting earlier and earlier. Now, over the next 3 days, scattered showers and storms will be moving in tomorrow. We have a pretty high rain chance at 60%, and then most of our weekend does look dry with some heat relief. I'll have more details on that coming up, but back to you, Brad.
Jenna, thank you. We do appreciate it. Well, these temperatures really are just too hot for many to handle. They pose a health risk to people. And if they're dangerous for us, you know they're dangerous for our pets, too. Kim Vickers joining us live now from North Augusta to tell us how to keep our pets safe. Kim.
Well, for the last week, these feels-like temperatures have been in the 100s. That is dangerously high, and it's important that we protect our pets while they're outside.
A continuous amount of water. When a dog is outside, like I said, making sure 100% that they have a dog house or a place to get away from the sun, whether that be a screened-in porch or something like that.
In this heat, the ground is dangerous for your dog's feet, so you should use a foot cover and walk them during the coolest hours of the day. While your pet can't use words to tell you when there's something wrong, there are signs to look for that they are suffering from heat-related illness, like sweating feet and red gums.
So the biggest sign is always heavy breathing, heavy panting. You can just tell in the progression of his breathing, it'll start picking up more and more like it's trying to catch his breath. Then you'll start seeing saliva start to form in their mouth, such as drooling.
Your pet could also become lethargic, have seizures, or pass out if they're experiencing heat stroke. If you notice any of those symptoms, you should immediately start trying to cool the animal down.
What you always want to do is move your dog into a cooler area, get some damp towels, kind of place it over the dogs, starting from the neck, going on down. Not too cold, like we tell people all the time, don't put ice on the dog because it can send them into shock.
So, when is it time to take your pet to the vet?
Within those steps of, giving the dog water, the damp towels and everything like that, you always want to check the dog's temperature. If it reaches levels past 104, that is the time you want to pick up your dog and take it to the vet.
I reached out to several local law enforcement agencies to find out how many calls they've gotten for pets left in hot cars since the beginning of June. North Augusta Public Safety told me they've had 12, and Dowdy says Augusta Animal Control had 3 just this week.
So if you do see a dog in a hot car, we always recommend people to call 911 and request, not ask for a deputy to come out, request that a deputy comes out because they can make it quicker than animal services.
Now we have more safety tips and signs that your pet could be suffering from heat-related illnesses over at WJBF.com. Live in North Augusta, Kim Vickers, WJBF News Channel 6.
All right, Kim, thanks. Law enforcement had to get involved after some sort of altercation at Hephzibah High School. According to a letter that went home, 2 parents got into some sort of altercation in the parking lot. During that whole thing, one of the parents was found to have a weapon, so public safety detained them. No word yet on any charges. The school says no students were injured. They didn't have to disrupt classes, so that part of it was okay. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office and coroner are investigating a homicide. This happened last night on Rushing Road. The victim is Otis Pierce. Deputies say he was shot at least once, and now David Mosley is accused in his murder. Officers say he and the victim got into an argument which led to that shooting. Augusta Mayor-elect Stephen Kendrick's transition committee set to have another community engagement session tonight. Kendrick will introduce his transition team to talk about the plans and goals once in office. That event is tonight at 6 at the Henry Brigham Center, and then there are 2 more just like this, one Monday at the Julian Smith Casino, and the other Thursday, the 27th, at Warren Road Community Center. Deadlines shifting yet again for the Broad Street construction in downtown Augusta. Ryan Lynch followed up with a business owner.
The 13th to 12th Street section on Broad now not expected to be finished until September. I spoke with business owner Havard Ersfried last week and followed up to ask him about the new date. He is staying positive as the construction drags on.
We're pressing through and we're looking forward to, having new streetscape and new sidewalks downtown and I think we've all just got to be positive, and we got to just keep encouraging people to come down here and see us.
The construction and deadline extensions have caused complaints from business owners and their customers. The shared frustrations have built a connection between businesses.
We've come up with different ideas together of how to draw people down here. We've obviously complained to each other when there is frustrations. But yeah, we have a really united front. If anything, for businesses down here, it's brought us together.
Augusta's engineering department said Tuesday that substantial completion of the block would be done by August 28th. Now the end date is listed as September 14th. An extended deadline means more days workers are out in the heat.
These guys are busting their tail in the heat today, and they're finishing up this block for us, and we just thought it'd be fun to throw some food out beside the restaurant while they're pouring concrete today and tomorrow in front of us.
The business section on Broad is still expected to be finished by the end of the year. The rest in early 2027. In Augusta, Ryan Lynch, WJBF, News Channel 6.
There's an important programming update to bring you. News Channel 6 will air the Carolina Panthers at Jacksonville Jaguars preseason football game tomorrow night at 7:30. That means Celebrity Jeopardy will air Saturday morning at 3 a.m. now, and 2020 will air Saturday afternoon at 1. Coming up, the latest on the trial of Lindsay Clancy, why jurors were sent home early today. Next.
We have showers and storms moving in tomorrow, and some of those could be strong to severe. We'll also be watching for some localized flooding concerns, but all of this is followed by some cooler and drier air. I'll have your full Viper 6 forecast when we return.
Follow News Channel 6 on Instagram.
They say you can't pause time. And it seems like just yesterday we were all waiting for you to arrive. I wanted to make sure that from day one you had a solid foundation. And with every birthday wish, every milestone, we were building something together. I watched you grow up faster than I was ready for. But I always knew, whatever path you chose, you'd never have to walk it alone. The world is yours now, and you've got everything you need to take it on. Love, Papa.
My name is Jeannie Garcia.
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Welcome back. It's nice and dry right now in the CSRA. We do have some storms to our north and east, and earlier today, Edgefield County saw a storm. So here's a look at those rainfall totals according to our Live Viper 6 neighborhood network. We picked up around 1/4 inch of rain over a 2-mile drive. That's right near Edgefield, where you can see that little patch there of green on our map. And you can see those recorded high temperatures today up in McCormick County at the triple-digit mark across the board. So McCormick County and Lincoln County have really been our hot spots this week. It's actually been hotter north of I-20, where you would typically think it'd be a little bit cooler. And then as for the Augusta Metro, up towards Columbia County, we have a few places around 100, even picking up on 101 near downtown Augusta and even near Aiken. But our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam down south showing beautiful sunshine here in Allendale County, 99 degrees, feeling like 102. Dew points are in the 60s, so humidity is around 30% again today. Not too bad. So it's still not the humidity this week. It is just the heat. That's why it's feeling so hot. Now, we will have some changes, though, coming our way. Notice this low pressure system. That front is going to be making its way towards our area tomorrow. So temperatures will drop a couple degrees. I'm not expecting 100 for any of us. We'll be anywhere from around 95 to 98 degrees. We'll still have some of that humidity, though. In fact, dew points will be rising. So it'll be feeling around 10 degrees hotter than the actual temperature. Notice 105 105 by the 2 o'clock hour. And you saw those stormy icons. We do have some rain moving in, and of course we're watching that very closely for the football games. We have our Game Night Live game of the week, first one of the season. North Augusta going to play Strom Thurmond and Johnston. Temperatures will be in the 80s at the start of the game, pretty muggy with some lingering showers and storms around. I'll time that out for you in just a moment. Notice we do have that marginal risk of severe weather throughout the majority of the CSRA tomorrow for the threat of damaging wind gusts and small hail. And then we have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall, and then even a slight risk of excessive rainfall for parts of Saluda, Edgefield, and Aiken counties. So some minor flooding will be possible with this event. You can see we're starting out our Friday dry, and then as we go through time, pop-up activity in the afternoon, and any of these cells will have the possibility of becoming strong to severe. Now here's around 7 o'clock, towards the time the football games are starting. A lot of the activity looks to be to the south of Augustus, but some lingering rain still possible in our northern counties with cloud cover. And then you can see our overall setup here. Once that cold front approaches us, that's bringing us the highest rain chance on Friday. But as it clears, winds will start to be coming out of the north. That'll bring in some cooler temperatures and some lower humidity for our weekend. So most of the weekend is looking dry. And then check out these dew points going from the 70s on Friday and Saturday back to the 60s on Sunday and Monday. So we'll get some heat relief. It's still going to be hot, but at least we're no longer talking a heat index of 105. It'll be feeling more so like the mid to upper 90s next week, and those actual temperatures are going to be dropping a little bit as well. So we'll still be at 95 on Sunday, but lower humidity, 93 on Monday, and then we'll be ending next week with some more rain chances and temperatures getting back down to the lower 90s.
Which we love.
Yeah,
all right,
not
Jenna.
bad.
No, not bad at all. Appreciate you, Jenna. Up next, fantasy football season is upon us. How some leagues are punishing their worst players.
Attention homeowners in Augusta.
You know, a lot of people enjoy playing fantasy football, but nobody likes to come in last. Danny New tells us about some of the worst punishments for the biggest losers.
My husband doing a fantasy football punishment.
Why is Chicago's John Lesky here dressed up as Eric Carl's The Very Hungry Caterpillar? Because once again, before the start of the NFL season, fantasy football players are finally serving their punishments for coming in last place last year.
I was actually kind of impressed by the end of it. I'm like, I would have tapped out really fast. Yeah. So
overall, you're proud of your husband.
I was pretty impressed.
There are millions of fantasy football leagues around the world, and the quest to generate the most unique last-place punishment has become a bit of an annual internet tradition. In John's case, his league is mostly friends and family, so he made sure to at least FaceTime with his league mates' children, including his nephew.
And they were like, they haven't sat still for that long in like a month. Playing Michael Brook today, no ball.
Meanwhile, in Canada, Connor Merritt here is in a league with all of his old hockey buddies. And his punishment was to go golfing without a ball and not tell anyone he joined why he didn't have one.
I go put my tee in the ground with no ball on it, swing, and I turn back, I go, that was a good one. And then he looks at me dead serious and goes, how do you know?
There's also a chance you could be locked in a closet and have to do a 1,000-piece baked bean puzzle. Or you might have to be like Ty in South Florida here, who had to compete in a bodybuilding competition.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was just hitting poses that I kind of saw them do.
In the case of Ty and his buddy Tommy, they have been in this league together since high school. And perhaps the best part is, Ty was the one who thought of this idea before the start of last season. So in preparation, Ty shaved his body hair, got a spray tan, and over the course of many months, even lost 30 pounds. But why did he go through so much effort?
That's what makes fantasy football.
By the way, Ty says that bodybuilding video has led to two things at work. One, his boss giving him a raise for showing strong character. And two, his boss making a life-size cutout of Ty to hang in the office. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Well, that does it for us for this half hour. There is more coverage you can count on at 5:30, including Gary, Indiana, home of the Jackson 5, with no power for days. Rough going for our friends in Gary. We'll update you on the restoration efforts as News Channel 6 continues.
Find the best in distinctive men.
Hi, Suzanne Lily Honeymichael here with Hardwood Floors and More. Did you know we offer military discounts on all regular price products? From flooring to lighting to furniture and more, we are truly thankful for those that have served. So all active and retired military can save 10%. Whether you want to do it yourself or need our flooring specialist to handle the installation, Hardwood Floors and More is the place to call. Visit our showroom today in Evans, Hardwood Floors and More, where we have so much more in store for you.
At Foot and Flow, we restore comfort.
The Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 5:30.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dee Griffin. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping today's headlines. And deadline shifting again for the Broad Street construction in downtown Augusta. A new end date was published on Thursday morning for the 13th to 12th Street section. Now it is expected to finish in September. And the extreme heat is not only affecting people, but pets too. The warning signs to look out for when your pet is outside: always make sure they have a cool, shaded place to hang out and plenty of water. Also, a reaction from the Richmond County Sheriff following the death of 2 officers in less than 24 hours. We'll have more on these headlines at 6, but first, power emergency is unfolding in Indiana. Last week, powerful storms swept through the state and tens of thousands of people are still without electricity. ABC's Alex Stone says frustration in the state is growing.
More than a week after these deadly storms and flooding hit Indiana, still tens of thousands of people in the state have no electricity. Cities like Gary along the Illinois border among the hardest hit. And the local power company says full restoration is not expected there until next Tuesday.
We didn't have no gas, no restaurants, no power. Now we have to throw away everything, got all the refrigerators. At night, it's like Gotham City. You can't see anything.
The situation growing dire as food in refrigerators has long since spoiled and air conditioners cannot run. Anger is mounting for answers from NIPSCO, the Northern Indiana Public Service Company.
They need another energy provider to help them because their caseload is too heavy. They keep asking for increases, but the service is not increasing.
In Griffith, Indiana, police have been going door to door doing welfare checks, and people are demanding the city council do something to turn on the electricity.
I'm diabetic, and I have my medicine in a refrigerator.
NIPSCO says in Gary alone, nearly 300 poles and 44 transmission poles need to be repaired or replaced.
These are lines that ordinarily take us in systems that ordinarily take weeks or months that we are trying to accomplish in days and or weeks.
Gary's mayor is acknowledging locals are frustrated, but says more than 600 linemen are working to restore power in the city. And some cities like Gary are now offering hot meals to residents. In Dyer, Indiana, south of Chicago, power to the wastewater treatment plant has now been restored. NIPSCO is promising more lights will be coming on day by day. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And it's time now for a first look at our weather with Chief Meteorologist Jenna Petracci. Jenna.
Well, Dee, it's another hot day. Starting to get used to it at this point. The heat is certainly on, but our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam at least showing us beautiful, mostly sunny skies. No storms to worry about just yet. You can see those temperatures are in the upper 90s, and we did have a few spots at 100 earlier, and I'm still seeing 100 down in Sandersville. Now, thank goodness the dew points are still on the lower side, at least for some of us. 64 in Augusta, 63 in Thompson. That means the heat index is below the threshold of having a heat advisory. It's feeling like around 102 to 105 in most spots. Now, the winds are starting to shift direction, though. We had a north wind over the past couple of days. Now we're seeing a southeast wind, and that's going to lead to more moisture in the area starting tomorrow. But in the meantime, tonight we're going to keep it mostly sunny and dry. We'll be in the lower 90s by 8 p.m. And then tomorrow is when it will start to feel more humid, even though those temperatures are going down. And we'll have a high chance of rain at 60%. So some showers and storms are headed our way. And I'll time that out in your feature cast coming up. But back to you, Dee.
All right, thanks so much. We'll see you in a few minutes. A former Facebook engineering director testified yesterday, and the fashion revival is here. We'll tell you what decade of fashion we're obsessing over up next.
And it's been a mostly dry day today, but we actually had one strong storm develop over Edgefield County earlier this afternoon. Here's a look at our Live Viper 6 neighborhood network powered by Tempest. You can see we picked up nearly a quarter of an inch of rain over at 2 Mile Drive. That is right near downtown Edgefield. And of course, it was another hot day. Look at these recorded high temperatures today around the Augusta Metro. 102 at Catherine Street, 103 over at Crawfordville Drive. Several places in the triple digits, and then another hot spot today was McCormick County. You can see up to 101 over at Burrow Drive and Amelia Drive. I'll have more details on how long this heat will last and our next high chance of rain after what's trending.
Tonight, the horrific helicopter.
Time and temperature brought to you by Peachtree Pest Control, protecting what matters most.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for a look at what's trending. It's totally tubular. Thanks to the hit show, The Shards, 80s fashion is making a comeback. GMA lifestyle contributor Lori Bergamatto has more on the embracing the 80s style in 2026.
In Ryan Murphy's The Shards, it's not just the drama that people are talking about.
Being a teenager in 1981 was perhaps the last moment of our youth.
It's the incredible fashion, driving a nostalgic renaissance for all things 80s.
You look nice.
But in The Shards, it's not all kitschy 80s neon and leg warmers. Instead, costume designers Lou Eyrick and Josh Marsh went for a sophisticated palette of mauves, grays, and blues, leaning into a look of the rich and powerful. The clothes saying as much about the characters as the words that tumble from their mouths.
Because it takes place in a very wealthy section of LA, it's less about the neon colors and the shoulder pads, but more of an elegant and elevated take on late 70s, early 80s fashion. When you have a reference to, a Ralph Lauren shirt, or you see the way that they mix and match their private school uniforms, that feels fresh and new for the viewer.
The style in The Shards reaching its apex in the wardrobe of Susan Reynolds, played by Kaya Gerber, who knows a thing or two herself about fashion as the daughter of supermodel Cindy Crawford.
Oh, hi.
She's the picture-perfect image of early 80s privilege, her look drawing inspiration from all-American icons of the era, like Lauren Hutton and Brooke Shields. Kaya Gerber's characters sporting sky-high waisted denim, feminine bow blouses, shoulder-padded blazers, and of course, era-defining penny loafers.
Is it too, GQ?
And while the show has plenty of plot twists, the fashion gives a twist on the 80s all its own.
Trends are cyclical, so I think designers are looking at the 80s because it's just about that time. We've experienced Y2K, we've seen that resurgence on the runway, we've seen the resurgence of the 90s on the runway, and now it's the 80s turn.
Oh, I miss 80s fashion. Oh, I love the 80s fashion. I can't wait to watch The Shards. I loved the 80s. Sweater over the shoulders, the penny loafers. I miss that. Well, singer Post Malone is not only back together with his ex-girlfriend, fashion stylist Christy Lee, they're engaged. The couple's friends shared the news on Instagram stories showing Lee's massive engagement ring. The pair were first spotted together in March of 2025, shortly after Post Malone split with his former fiancée Jamie Park, but they appeared to call it quits last summer. It's unclear when they got back together. So, hey, congrats to the happy couple. Well, The Good American Family has another story to tell. This show is about a family that adopts a child, or so they thought. Good American Family is coming back to Hulu for a second season. The new season of the anthology will focus on the jaw-dropping case of Lorena and John Bobbitt. We remember them, don't you? Well, Grey's Anatomy star Ellen Pompeo, who starred in the series' first season, will executive produce. I've never heard of it, but I guess I need to catch up because I love Ellen Pompeo. But back to the 80s fashion. You remember that? And if you're from Augusta, you'll remember like kids like over at Glen Hills High School back in the 80s. They were so preppy and just dressed the best. And I was in private school here, so we had our strict dress code, but we were preppy. Let's bring back 80s fashion. Well, hopefully 80s will be back in our weather one day soon, but it's not looking like it. I just wishful thinking for me. But apparently there's a upper level system tracking. We got to see about some storms moving into the area. Jenna has your full forecast coming up next.
The 2026-27 Broadway.
This message is brought to you by the Milton Rubens Superstore. There's only one way to drive, and it's drive, baby.
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live 5/6.
Welcome back. It's a beautiful day, but another hot day as we start out with our Terry Limbert Hyundai Skyview Cam showing you Waynesboro. We're at 99 degrees, feeling like 102. So we've been dealing with this heat wave all week long, but this kind of marks the end of it. Now we will start to see some relief tomorrow and then some big time relief over the weekend once this system moves in. Now, right now on satellite and radar, nothing going on here in the CSRA, but we do have some strong to severe storms now developing across parts of Alabama and Mississippi ahead of this system, and eventually we'll see the rain on Friday. But high temperatures tomorrow, like I mentioned, starting to cool down. It's not going to be cool by any means, but at least we will be no longer seeing the triple digits. So 96 in Augusta and Aiken. Here's a look at that day planner showing the heat index getting up to around 105. So even though the temperatures are going down tomorrow, the humidity will be rising thanks to winds coming out of the south, and that's going to lead to the heat index being around 10 degrees hotter than the actual temperature. Now, all eyes are on the football Friday night forecast. We're going to be starting out at 84 degrees at kickoff. This is for our game night live game of the week in Johnston, North Augusta versus Strom-Thurmond. Then we'll be in the upper 70s by the time the game is wrapping up. I'm expecting it to be pretty cloudy with some scattered showers and storms, and I'll time that out for you in just a moment. We do have the threat of severe weather tomorrow across the majority of the CSRA for damaging wind gusts and small hail. Also, the majority of us under a marginal risk of excessive rainfall, and then even a slight risk for parts of Saluda, Aiken, and Edgefield counties where we could have some minor flooding. So here's our future cast. We're starting out our Friday dry, and then once we get into the afternoon around 2 p.m., some isolated storms will start to develop, and within these cells, that's where we'll be watching for some damaging wind gusts and small hail. Now here's a look at 7 p.m. So around kickoff, that's when some games could potentially be impacted by the rain. It does look like the more widespread activity is going to be in the southern portion of the CSRA, though, by the time we get to late Friday night. So just some lingering rain around where the game night live game of the week will be up in Edgefield County. And then you can see once we get to midnight, still seeing some of that light rain in the southern portion of the CSRA. So this is all because of that approaching cold front. Ahead of that, we have winds coming out of the southeast, making it feel more humid with the chance of rain. So as the cold front pushes through, we will have a nice pattern change this weekend. Winds will come out of the northwest, and that will bring in some drier air and some slightly cooler temperatures. And you'll really notice the lower humidity on Sunday and especially on Monday, dew points falling back into the 60s, but it will be pretty muggy over the next couple of days with that heat index around 100 to 105. But then on Sunday through next Tuesday, high temperatures near average in the low to mid 90s, and that heat index staying below 100 for a change. Now we're also watching the tropics. We have one new area to watch, 20% chance of development here with this area of low pressure, but that is moving east closer to Spain and Portugal. So not a problem for us, but we do have the chance of some formation off the coast of Africa from around August 26th through September 1st. Still doesn't look like it'll be an issue for us, but I'll be keeping a close eye on it and keep you posted. But as you can see, next week, higher rain chances as we go into the end of the week, with temperatures continuing to cool back down. We'll actually be in the lower 90s the following weekend, Dave.
Okay, I'll take it. It is a little cooler.
Yeah, at least we're getting a break from the 100s starting tomorrow.
Thank goodness. Thanks so much. Well, e.l.f. Cosmetics is bringing back its viral pickle lip balm. A new collection just launched. We'll have more on this coming up.
I felt I was in a lot of pain.
The CSRA's favorite news app is now even better with easier access to local news, weather, and live streaming video. Download the News Channel 6 mobile app.
The viral pickle lip balm, a new collection just launched, inspired by the Big Dill lip balm selling out in 8 minutes earlier this year. And the new additions include Von Dill, a sweet and salty pickle flavor, Real Dill, the classic, and Spicy Little Dill with a kick of pepper. Each costs $9, and you can get it at Ulta stores. Well, that's all the time we have for this half hour. We'll have more coverage you can count on coming up next at 6, including Sheriff Eugene Brantley, who tells us about the deaths that happened within his department. When he arrived at the crash scene, he'll talk about what he saw and how it made him and his fellow deputies feel. Well, this and more next at 6.
Online Viper 6 Neighborhood Network, powered by Tempest, is sponsored by Coleman Services. One name, two trades, no worries.
Attention homeowners in Augusta and throughout the CSRA. Concrete Coatings of the South can transform your old, cracked, dusty concrete floors from ordinary to extraordinary with our innovative flooring products. Transform that space with our durable, high-gloss, weatherproof coating with endless styles and color combinations. Beautiful, easy to clean, and installed in as little as 1 day. If your garage floor is dull, dusty, and covered in stains, or your basement or covered patio could use a makeover, now's the time to call. Save $500 on your floor coating project. Ask about interest-free financing. Plus, call during this program for a bonus. Receive a free upgrade to premium colors. Only at Concrete Coatings of the South. Save $500 with interest-free financing and get the free upgrade. Call us here in Augusta at 706-426-1159. That's 706-426-1159.
Tonight, a News Nation exclusive.